Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Tiffin University Esports. I'm Nobi. I'm joined here by Ven. I absolutely can't wait to get into the action that we've got here for you today. I know, obviously, given your back of the fact that you kind of know these players and this team, how excited are you for this matchup today?
This is the go-to match of the year. Very two good teams are going against each other. So I would say Tiffin hasn't lost a map yet or lost a game. They've lost one map. So if that says
Wow.
anything, it's going to be a very hard game today.
Wow. I
Yeah.
mean, ultimately, and actually taking a look here, it looks like, yeah, so Tiffin University over here choosing Lotus. It actually, yeah, it does say, yeah. So Tiffin chose Lotus. ONU does choose defense to start out, which is interesting because Lotus is a three-site map. It's one of those maps that's notoriously attack-sited. So very interesting to see how that dynamic ends up here. Just in terms of how confident they are on the defense side to start out. Could be a situation where they maybe feel like, they can kind of get as many rounds as they want, or as they can rather, on defense, and then kind of just push through on attack for that second half. It's interesting though.
I think they're going to try to get the early momentum with Lotus because Lotus, I would say if you attack on defense, you can win the game on defense if played correctly.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think so. I mean, look, I will say 100%. If these teams are playing right, attack will definitely be the easier side to kind of navigate in terms of the macro. But that's not to say that defense isn't a viable one at all. It definitely is. They can definitely get some stuff there done on defense, but it ultimately also comes down to how well Tiffin plays today. And like you said, they've pretty much been on a roll in the previous GLEC champs. So, I mean, look, they've got plenty writing for them here. I suppose they have a reputation to uphold, but let's see if they can continue to do that over here coming into Lotus. As you can see, roster here: Jello, Knight, Mint, Zeptic, and Mosey. These players all have, they've done their thing. It's a pretty stacked roster here. Immortal players, previous Radiant players. They all know exactly what they're doing. They've got the talent to back it up, and they are not going to go down quietly. So definitely excited to see how that roster performs here today. Yeah. Absolutely. And I also think the other part of it too is going to be, and just going into the map pool in general that we've got going on here. Oh, there we go. So yeah, agent select now in the cards here. We are on Lotus, and looks like Tiffin University opting to go with potentially a chamber pick here. That is certainly going to be interesting if it comes to fruition. I'm not sure if it will. We're sitting potentially a harbor. I'm not sure what's going on here. I do also see a Yoru pick locked in. So a Yoru solo duelist is a really interesting selection here. I'm curious about how that dynamic is going to play out. You see on the side of Ohio Northern, of course, they're opting for the double duelist. They're opting for Raise Yoru, which I think is a little bit of a better comp here. But I mean, of course, Tiffin University, I'm sure they've gotten their practice potentially with this comp. So, you never know what kind of stuff they can pull out here. But I mean, look, this Yoru, this solo Yoru is really interesting, and especially the solo Chamber Sentinel. So it's just like all sorts of weird stuff coming out from this comp. I definitely think Ohio Northerns is a little bit more of a standard one, but of course, with those, those kind of, I guess, weird comps, you can end up coming out with some interesting stuff. So I can't wait to see how that plays out. I'm excited.
And I believe Yoru's been nerfed pretty badly, so I'm kind of
Yeah.
curious as to why they still are playing Yoru. I mean, I guess we're about to find out.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Well, here's the thing, right? The patch notes with Yoru really are mostly down to his ult. The only thing that got nerfed other than that was, I think, the time on his flash, which honestly isn't that bad of a nerf. And you think about it this way: the dimensional drift is something you're only using a few times per match. So Yoru is
Yeah.
still definitely very strong. And if you know how to play him right, even the ultimate nerfs, not being able to flash or put the clone down isn't crazy. I mean, like, if you know how to play him right, you can still pop in with that shorty, come out of the ult, get yours, and TP out with, you know, completely for free. So he's definitely still viable, still very strong, and we look to get right into the action here. Tiffin University on the attack. Let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely can't wait for it. And here we go. These players
able to get a kill right off the bat on Flame.
Yeah.
Didn't even see that
Flames
one.
will fall, so yeah, Duelist falls pretty early on, so it's not what they, certainly not what ONU wants to see right out the gate, but of course Tiffin University still has got to take some of this neutral space over in A lobby, and they actually are going to do so with help from that Viper wall. Dark cover comes out. It's not really going to halt much though. These players look to go ahead and hit the A site right away, and as you can see, Knight has virtually no health to work with. The peak coming out here over from drop, and Min will fall actually, so that's going to disrupt the plant just a little bit. Not for long though, but I mean, this flood is in full force right now, and now it's a 2v2 situation. False Sun finds one, and these players are just trying to hold on for dear life right now. Going through the Viper wall, Decay is out, and the shots are coming out as well. Knight trying to land the kills, spam through the box. Can it be done here? EMP finds one, and the second through the wall. And ONU stabilize despite the early pick. And they are going to grab that pistol round, and excellently played one. Honestly, a great flood there. And of course, Tiffin University falls on the pistol round, looking to kind of stabilize these rounds. And on the other side of things, ONU is going to look to continue that momentum from that pistol. Of course, this is a round you expect to win in terms of the anti-eco.
Tiffin's known to be weak on the pistols. I've seen them lose quite a bit, but they usually come back towards the later half of the game with pistol. They usually lose their first pistol, so, and they're very good on the bonus, so we're about to find out. But EMP getting a kill on Mint right away, it's not good for Tiffin.
Very, very true. Yeah, I mean, this is a situation where, of course, like, it ultimately is going to come down to where the stack is. I think a lot of these defenders are already converging onto B. They know that, I mean, these players don't really have much to work with on Tiffin University, so they're just going to try to, you know, bunch up and, you know, do the best they can in terms of, you know, kind of just fighting like a pack.
And with this Viper wall that Tiffin's using, it's a very good lurk wall. Gaining all that space, almost splitting the A site in half, at least the front part of it.
Cover going out.
And they're just using that to get that space. And I think ONU knows that and is giving them that. And they're going to be playing retake on A.
Very true. This Viper wall can honestly, I want to continue to kind of just see how this gets played around coming into the rest of this half, because it's a very well played Viper wall. It allows for some potential lurk opportunities here. So I'm curious to see how that one goes. But this may actually be an interesting play here. Isolated fight over in tree, and it does not go the way of Flames, and drop down from heaven. One more player found, and all of a sudden, this is looking a little bit more doable here for Tiffin. The spike is down.
Last player
Players
standing.
dropping down. Sing probably, yeah, the one pretty much to save it thus far. Finds 3 on the round, and Kerosene to close it out, and they do find the anti-eco, but without losing 2 weapons. So Tiffin University can't really be too upset about that. They got their plant money, they got 2 off the board, so certainly not a bad way to play there. You got to give them credit.
You know, Tiffin's known for playing very fast, so I wonder, once they're able to buy this round, I wonder if they're going to start picking up the pace. But with that lurk wall, you know, they're going to be playing a lot slower than normal, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that lurk wall is a really important point here. It's going to be, honestly, really, really important in terms of map control and the way these teams decide to play, especially like on attack here for Tiffin. So can't wait to see how that plays out, but a little bit of a C hit here, potentially. But you can actually see these players on the defense just trying to take map control on their end as well. You can see this push up right now from EMP over onto B. Prowler's going to kind of stop him in his tracks. He's gonna TP out just to sort of deny information. He's gone from there, and now it's gonna allow Tiffin University to kind of just push back up onto some of these extremities on B and play a little bit more defaulty than we've seen in previous rounds.
And ONU playing very disciplined, not giving too much space, playing the retake as a team. Fade just jump spotting B, not seeing anything. And look,
yeah,
2 of ONU's players are on A waiting for that hit. But Tiffin's rotating back to C.
And honestly, this is the freedom you gain when you maintain control of certain parts of the map. I do think that that's really important. And you can see here, oh no, Mint falls to
30
Brundon.
seconds left.
And that's actually huge because now all of a sudden, that's info lost over an A. You have no idea. Obviously, you know only one person's there, but you don't know how many other people are. The hit is coming out onto C though, and everyone right now on you is going to go ahead and rotate over. Time taking away here, and we may see a bit of a spam, and nothing's really going to come of it. So that spike is going to come down.
ONU has all their security to retake. Look at that.
Oh no. And this is actually, I mean, ONU is doing a pretty good job, but it doesn't really matter too much. The gun difference, the weapon difference is just too damn strong. EMP sitting with an outlaw and can do absolutely nothing. Knight, the headshot with a Guardian through the wall, and that is going to give Tiffin their first round of the game. But similar to the anti-eco, on the flip side of things, honestly, ONU, they can't be too upset about that round. I mean, that was the bonus. They did get 2 off the board themselves, so not too shabby on their part.
All right, sorry about that. My earbud died. I just had to swap out real quick. But yeah, you're right. I mean, if I'm honestly, Tiffin kind of struggling here in the attack, which
Toxins going up.
I don't know. Hopefully that isn't a thing that, you know, stays with these upcoming rounds.
Yeah, not a fantastic sign here, but of course, you know, it could be much worse. It is still very, very early in the match. Anything could happen. You never know. Of course, Valorant, one of those games that's so momentum based, and a deficit that seems big can turn around in what seems like 2 seconds. So you never know. But certainly exciting. See how this one goes. These players on Tiffin really not showing too much more map control aside from False Sun over on B, who actually gets taken out. So see what happens here. An EMP getting another kill over. Oh my god, and actually hits the dimensional drift as well. So pretty much gets out with his life, more or less. Is just gonna chill and be a nuisance, more or less. And is gonna get out of the over towards lobby. So that's gonna create some pressure there as well. These players right now over on Tiffin starting to get pinched a little bit.
30 seconds left.
Double's dead.
But what a shot. Not grabbing that kill. Now we have a 3v3 situation here. Time taking away. It's getting real low here. Singh left to defend the site with the paranoia, but it does not matter. Mosey still lands the kill. Not a whole lot of time left, but the spike will go down, and now it's a 2v3 retake here. They should be aware at this point that 2 of the players are coming from separate areas, but all 3 people on Tiffin actually gonna bunch up over towards tree, and this may be devastating because the paint shells are available. So you can see all 3 of these players are kind of doing the same thing right now. This could be huge. This could be devastating. Yeah, paint shells come out, and it's pretty much gonna allow them a little bit more freedom here. TP comes out, and there's an isolated fight now here. Flames with another kill, potentially. No, it will not happen. So Tiffin find themselves the gun round, and it is 2-2.
Honestly, very well played. They played off each other, played time, played the bomb. I mean, that was beautiful.
Absolutely. And look, I ultimately think that ONU had a pretty good chance there. They had a real good setup. They got their pick over on the from the lurker. They actually even found someone else by just getting a kill over in that cubby over there on A. So being able to do that and having that pinch even with the dimensional drift, they were set up very, very well, but it just ultimately didn't work out in their favor. Now we see here another push up onto C. So honestly, Tiffin should be somewhat aware of this possibility. They should really just be trying to hold the space that they have now, just not allow ONU to push any further up. And that kind of seems like that's what's happening right now. Fight here coming out. Knight will fall. So that's not the start they wanted, and they're just gonna back off a seed because of that. And you see these players, I mean, ONU doesn't have any weaponry to spare, but Tiffin honestly just held the line even still. They should have probably just rotated right towards A immediately, just given the fact that the weaponry was, the disparity in the economy. Kerosene finds another one, so Knight will fall, and all of a sudden this round seems to be going just a little bit worse for these players on Tiffin. They are going to get the plant down, and it's down to ONU to retake, but it's definitely looking a little bit more doable. Let's see what ends up happening here.
Grenade!
Cover going out.
Killed.
What a shot from EMP. Grabbing those kills, and I mean, everyone on ONU just gets mowed down. 3-2 now. Tiffin taking the lead, and this is kind of part of what I was talking about, right? ONU managed to get the pistol and the anti-eco round, but I mean, from there, it has been all Tiffin University all the way. So, and it's ultimately down to their map control. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. And the big thing here, of course, these players now looking to head over towards C. I honestly think they might have been able to call the fact that ONU might have been wanting to play towards A, just because that's kind of where Tiffin's been leading this most of this half, and they pretty much read them like a book for the most part. That pit is going to come down, and all of a sudden that's going to make the retake real difficult.
Spike planted.
Oh, it's not showing on the...
Last player standing.
Oh my. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. This retake, though, seems to be actually someone in full force, but Jello has got something to say about that. Goes right on top of the spike and sees the last player and claims the kill and their head. 4-2 the score. Absolutely incredible stuff, and that was a valiant retake attempt too from Ohio Northern. They did a great job, but I mean, Tiffin University, really, honestly, Jello held the line and held their site real effectively. So props to them for that. They take another round, a 2-round lead here, and of course, now looking forward, they're going to have to kind of consider and try to continue to read Ohio Northern as best as possible. They did it last round with predicting that they would have it over towards A, and it looks like Mint did the same thing just now, grabbing a kill with an outlaw over towards B.
Oh, what a shot.
Getting that pick on B as well. Yeah, it's a great shot.
My ult is ready. Bring them down. Take hold.
KRC is only one on C.
Oh yeah.
Oh, tongue
And
twist.
Knight And Knight grabbing that kill, and that's going to kind of open up the site for them. Once again, none of these players on ONU pretty much at home, but they really can't be. They don't have weaponry to work with right now. They're on another eco round, so they've got those sheriffs in hand. They're ultimately just going to have to try to make something out of nothing here, and it's going to be real difficult because these players honestly may end up going hunting in a second. Not too sure about that one. Yeah, then they, of course, Sing just chilling over towards CT, looking to catch someone off guard. EMP actually does find a kill, though. Spam coming out and peeks as well, and Sing actually grabs the kill. So now a 2v3 situation, and there really is no time left to even attempt a retake. But look, you know what? Getting those guns off the board is certainly something that they want. Sing is just going to die to the spike. EMP is going to keep that outlaw, and ONU trying to, like I said, tried to make something out of nothing. Couldn't quite do it to the best of their ability, but of course they're going to look to continue to do so here.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, we were looking at it. It was perfect.
You want to play? Let's play.
Oh no! Look, both teams are fighting A.
Yeah, it looks like there's a pretty significant brawl coming out here. Knight finding 1, 2, and look, there's these players are just, the brawls are going in their way. Everything seems to be going their way right now. It's incredible, and they're gonna TP right over to C. And once again, there's no one home. The players have rotated. There's absolutely there's no noise, no nothing on the A side right now. That looks like ONU has just been absolutely bamboozled, and now what more can they do in this situation? It's a 4v2. The plant is gonna come down. They're gonna have complete and total access to C, and how the retake attempt is gonna be miles more difficult than they may have originally anticipated.
One enemy remaining.
And Knight puts a cap in that one. Looking to continue along with this momentum. Flash about to come out, but caught out with the utility. EMP finds 1, looking potentially for more, just to try to get as many guns off as he can, while also keeping his own, because it's so important. And honestly, these players on Tiffin know that. And there we go. Tiffin find another round in a row, and we talk about how easy, supposedly easy, the attack side on Lotus is here, but I mean, of course, this is a situation where it is the momentum is just 100% in the favor of Tiffin. They've got 6 in a row. They're showing their prowess right now, and these players on ONU, it's not even to say that they're doing bad in terms of the kill department. You see EMP is 11-4, but it's really down to the impact. We've seen a lot of the time that EMP ends up being the last person standing in a lot of these rounds, and ultimately that results in, you know, even though you may get 1 or 2, that it doesn't really matter too much. There's not a lot of impact there. So you know, it's something you've got to consider here. And of course, these players once again just trying to play defaulty on Tiffin. It's been working out for them thus far, so look to continue trying to do that. Just gain info where they can and just decide where to hit based on that. And that's another great start. EMP falls. And here we go. Another just trying to like watch for that raise period. I don't think Flames wants anything more to do with that. But you can see this entire team right now has complete and total access to the C site. They're gonna head right in there, but now all of a sudden there's players just waiting here. There's 3, and Kerosene defending it, wants nothing to do, wants none of these players on their site, and Flames as well claiming another kill. So now False Sun in a 1v3. And this is the detriment of these default heavy kind of plays here. I'm not even sure if False Sun is going to
seconds
have
left.
enough time to go ahead and get that spike down over towards A. It is going to be damn close, but they are going to have time. So spike will come down,
Spike
and
planted.
I mean, look, it may not be able to do much here. I will say that much. Yeah.
Toxins going up.
Oh, that's a
enemy
great
remaining.
shot. False Sun. What in the world? 2 found and looking for the third to close it out. And the timing onto Kerosene is just absolutely immaculate. Snakebite comes out. It's a timing thing, but Kerosene finds it, and there's no time left. False Sun has got it. And what a clutch. What a way to save it. And the second ONU seems to get an inch. Tiffin takes a mile. False Sun, the prodigal son right now. Absolutely insane stuff that we just saw. I mean, a 1v3 to close that one out, able to get in that site with just barely enough time. And yeah, 100% ONU looking to take a timeout here, a much needed one. They've got to just kind of solidify themselves, get themselves, get their games planned straight, and make sure they're in a decent spot.
I think ONU, they only lost that because they all split up towards the end, gave ones, and, Zeptic was able to capitalize off that with the win.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why ONU did that.
Very true. But I will say, ONU had the right formula kind of earlier in the round, right? You can see these players actually were going back towards C, and players like Kerosene were defending it really well. I mean, honestly, ONU, like you said, should have won that round 100%. And that is kind of the detriment of these default heavy comps that we've been seeing from Tiffin, is if you don't get adequate info on the site that you're trying to hit, it can end up screwing things up like a lot. So yeah, I mean, 100%. I'd say ONU definitely should have won that round. They had the right formula, but really they just couldn't finish it out. They couldn't complete the execution. So of course you want to see that change here. These players on ONU looking to
Spike
continue
down,
up
C.
here, and they absolutely
enemy
do.
remaining.
Kerosene, the sentinel of C, goes absolutely insane before falling, and that operator shuts it down. But I mean, it's all a consolation. Mint, the last one to stand with that op. And I mean, we thought the 1v3 was difficult last round. It is going to be 10 times more so coming into this one right here. And see, he's just trying to get all these angles sliced. Isn't really going to see anyone. These players on Ohio Northern are aware of what these Tiffin players are capable of. They're just going to chill, hold their lines. There's only 30 seconds left on the clock.
30
so
seconds left.
ultimately, Mint has to do something here. Going to pick up a Vandal, make some noise over towards C. So I believe these players should be aware of the positioning. But the real question is Mint gonna know? Is Mint gonna be able to check this corner effectively before Sing does anything? And no, they will not. So Sing claims that kill in a third round for Ohio Northern. They pick up that operator too. So they've got 2 on the board here. They can actually kind of spread out those 2 high caliber weapons accordingly here. It's interesting.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right. They do have 2 ops. Yoru with the op probably going to be aggressive and try to TP away. But Omen, I don't know how he's going to...
Shadows traveling.
Very true. I'm not sure either. That one way coming out there, and these players just kind of holding each other with that operator. I wonder who's going to peek that one first. Curious to see how that ends up working out. But now, of course, right back into it. And Sing actually comes out on top in that op fight. So Mint falls and Tiffin University find themselves on the back foot early. And actually, these players in Ohio Northern are pretty much all towards A right now for the most part, or able to rotate quickly. So there's 2 here right now, and Flash coming out, the clone getting popped. There's only 1 player backside, and EMP just in a world of pain right there. Will get taken out. Sing looking to get the kill, will not happen. So Tiffin claiming these kills. That spike is gonna go down. 4v3 situation now, so they do have the man advantage. Flames pops in with that showstopper. Can't really do a whole lot though. Jello finds the kills. These shots are so good on Tiffin's side, and they find an excellent play there. They get themselves into A. They play the post plan excellently. They isolate the fights as they have been really this entire half, and it's worked out in their favor.
You're absolutely right. I mean, just very good attack half from Tiffin here.
Absolutely, and that's one extra thing that I want to point out. It's that calculated aggression on the post plant that we've been seeing. They know exactly where to push out. They're coordinated, and that can end up being a really big strong point. You know, of course, at the same time, you know, you can't do it forever. At a certain point, Ohio Northern should have enough pattern recognition to understand that these players are going to push out, and to kind of take it a little bit more easy, to just kind of hold the line for a bit, and just, you know, kind of take their timings when they can. But really, they haven't adapted that well to it. So it's a question of kind of how are these players on Ohio Northern gonna kind of adapt to what Tiffin's been doing really this whole time.
Welcome to my world.
Cutting through.
And a pit will come out as well. Kind of gonna give them some freedom on the site here, and free reign at the moment. Looks like some of these players are gonna hang inside the pit for a bit potentially, so might end up getting decayed. That spike does go down though. And now time pressure on the side of Ohio Northern. Mint finding a kill with that operator. And it's just these small lines that they know exactly where to hold. Boombot coming out. 1 classic kill is out in the Steel Garden, trying to do something here for the side of Ohio Northern. 1 kill for Sing, but Kerosene, the last one to stand. It is no match for Mint up there. A 9-3 half for Tiffin University. They make a statement, honestly, coming into the rest of this game here and end the series.
And we're about to find out if the chamber pick on Tiffin was, you know, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I think Chamber's a pretty good sentinel, but, you know, at the same time, he has that 1 trip. That's it.
Very true. But the thing is, Chamber was recently buffed. Keep that in mind. So that trip is now global. So you can you have the freedom to go wherever you want. And that is a big part of it. So definitely a little bit more viable than he was previously, and I think that probably has to do with the uptick in chambers that we've been seeing just in general, not even just within rank, but just in organized Valorant too. It's definitely something I think we'll continue to see more, as long as, you know, the kind of the landscape of you know, Sentinels remains the way it is, especially with the patch coming out and some of these other Sentinels getting nerfed. I feel like we're definitely going to see something like that. And more chambers coming out. These players now on defense on Tiffin, and looks like Ohio Northern is going to go ahead and get that spike down onto B. And these players on Tiffin, you can see around the map here, they are in all sorts of places. You see False Sun looking to get that late wrap, but there's a wall, there's a sheer wall available, so you're gonna have to trip that one. Kerosene finds a kill And these players holding across over into heaven, they know exactly what they're doing here. EMP with another one, and this is a great start. Paranoia coming out, 1 kill found, looking to get another. It is going to be found. False Sun, the last one to stand here, cannot get anything, cannot get an inch. Flames and EMP coming out on top there to bring Ohio Northern the pistol of the second half. And this is kind of what we saw early in the game too. Ohio Northern claimed the pistol and the anti-eco, and that was 2 out of the 3 rounds they got in the entire half.
So Yoru on Tiffin, Knight buying a Bucky. You might see a little TP play with the flash.
Look at the face here. MP finding that early kill onto Mint. He was trying to get a cheeky kill there, but really couldn't get it done. False Sun again, trying to do something here. Does land a dink onto one of the players, but can't really do much else here. So Singh doesn't have a whole lot of help, but Knight could end up coming up huge with this Bucky here. Actually doesn't even get one. That's so unfortunate. There's 2 players on Ohio Northern who have basically no health to spare right now, or not a whole lot.
Planted.
That's real unfortunate. They couldn't even really get one off the board. So that spike comes down, and they're gonna have an excellent setup here coming into this post plant. Mosey and Jello are just more or less gonna look to try their best to die to the spike here and not allow any more of these players on ONU to get ult orbs. I think that's a really important point here.
I'll find you.
Cover going out.
And these players, yep, gonna go ahead and fall to the spike. That is going to be another round in the bag for Ohio Northern. Of course, a round that we kind of expected them to win, but nonetheless, sort of situation where I believe they are gonna just kind of look to stay as coordinated as possible. They've strung together 2 in a row. They definitely want to make sure that they get this bonus round. That's a really important point. Whenever you see any of these 9-3 comebacks, you usually see this bonus round getting claimed. So, of course, ONU gonna try to do that themselves here. That's a good start though. Knight finding one. Looking for more as well, and it will happen. Mint finds that kill onto EMP, and I don't actually think he spotted the other player, but is gonna be pretty prepared for it, I believe.
Poison orb emitting. Poison's off.
You can see here, of course, just creeping up here, and they don't have the man advantage anymore, so they've got to be really careful not to lose any more players here. You see Kerosene like has the Vandal here. Mosey actually finds one and finds Kerosene with the rifle too, so now it's looking a lot worse for these players, and there's absolutely nothing that Brondon can do whatsoever. So Tiffin get themselves to double digits here, 10-5 scoreline, and that bonus round that I said was so important for ONU to win does not go their way.
Honestly, yeah, you're right. They had to win that in order to win the game. So the fact that they didn't, I mean, it's still winnable, very winnable. But
Cover going out.
Spam coming out here. Singh finds one. That's a good start there for them. And now, of course, Mosey looking to do something here. And that's a huge scan there. Of course, because Jello has the Odin as well. So gonna look to just spam through with that wall. Isn't really able to get much value off of it, because I don't really think there is any health taken off from these players, but could potentially see more of that spam, and yeah, it's gonna pretty much, it's gonna force ONU to get the heck out of there. But another player actually who was kind of pushed up is gonna fall as well. So now over on C, and go ahead and satchel right in, and Brondon falls as well.
Voices off.
Or Brondon gets another kill as well. Finds a player. Jello
down,
gets a
C.
kill with that Odin spam, and it's gonna deny the plant at least for now.
Spike planted.
That's a real dangerous game to play here, Flames. You
Player
gotta be
standing.
real careful. Kerosene finding another kill. False Sun not able to get it done as well, and ONU find themselves that gun round. So yes, Tiffin had found the bonus, but ONU, they certainly do not want this game to be over quite yet. They established themselves on that gun round.
And it looks like Mint is gonna op, so that might kind of sway the pendulum in Tiffin's favor if he can really capitalize off those op kills.
Very, very true. I mean, of course, on operator, definitely one of the more important guns, especially when you have a chamber on deck. It's definitely an important one to have. Kerosene finding a kill there. Knight with the trade. So now things are sort of equalized here, and these players should 100% be aware of the possibility of a C-hit. Spam come out with that Guardian, could come out huge, and False Sun may look to take a timing here, and they do. So spots out a player, Satchel back, and Flames is just going to get right out of there. One player on A, but there's an operator at the ready. Look out! Ohio Northern. Mint is in the house, and there's another player here as well. One found, second one not there. Brondon, the last one to stand for ONU here. And just as quickly, like I said earlier, as they take an inch, Tiffin takes a mile. So they find themselves at 11 rounds now, back and forth and back and forth. We've seen this half, but the momentum is just already in the side of Tiffin.
I mean, with that op, the fact that he's able to push up so far and almost guarantees a kill if he can hit a shot and gets back to tree for safety. You know, as long as they can maintain that control over the map, I don't think ONU is going to be able to win.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I will say that Ohio Northern is good at doing is effective trading. But the problem is, it doesn't matter too much if these players are just going to go ahead and do things like that. They can get one and get out. They have 2, 3 TP characters. It gives them the freedom to kind of go for these cheeky kills and become virtually untradeable. So, you know, when they have the opportunity, yes, ONU is great at trading, but it hasn't worked out in their favor this far. Showstopper coming out, Sing spotting out the player in the corner, and now all of a sudden, that aggression works out in their favor. It's a 4v3 now in their favor.
Looks like the Fade ult is about to go out on water.
Yeah, potentially
Kinda
here.
holding
And Flames finds that kill with Jello. False Sun grab another kill, Mosey as well, and now a 2v2 situation. Things have been equalized here. How in the world has this happened? Absolutely insane stuff. That Boombot is going to come out, try to get some information. It's not really going to do much, but of course we're going to have to see a cap here soon. And wow, that's a surprising peak there. High-low setup here, and it's not going to work out. I'm not particularly sure what we were seeing there from Mosey, just because they had a teammate there and they gave them, they pretty much shift peeked into CT there and pretty much gave away their life. So pretty crucial blunder there. And it really did cost Tiffin a round, but I guess it continues sort of the back and forth pattern that we've been seeing this half.
So it looks like Tiffin's going to have one Vandal to work with.
Very true. And now these players are just gonna kind of sit over towards the C site, but you can obviously see Tiffin pushing up, taking map control towards A lobby. So there's 2 players, actually 3, that are doing so, and Sing finds a kill off the back of it, finds 2, and the trade is nowhere to be found. Well done, never mind,
Spike down,
gets 3
C.
over on C.
One
Not only
enemy
equalizes it, but puts Tiffin University on top in terms of the man advantage. Knight with another one, and it's all down to Kerosene, who's got the most to do, has the Vandal in hand, and they've got so much work cut out for them right now. Spam coming out. Door opening once more. And they are just 100% spamming here, but oh no, Kerosene. There's no way. Knight here left with the Marshal. The last one!
Oh, no.
And Kerosene finds the clutch against Knight, who had the Marshal, who essentially had an op in his hand because of how much health Kerosene had, but was not able to do it. And somehow Kerosene saves it for Ohio Northern, gives them a lifeline potentially, and another blunder for Tiffin. That's a round you just can't lose. It's so unfortunate, and they look to continue here.
Spike down A.
Not a care in the world on their part. Jello finds a kill with that Odin spam, and that's pretty much going to force some of these players on ONU off of A and kind of look to explore other sides of the map here. You can see Mint taking some space over towards C, so there's info. And now these players at this point on Tiffin are 100% aware of this B hit. False Sun grabbing another kill, so now a 5v3 situation. Spike isn't even down yet. The dark cover getting popped over towards Heaven. It's going to block the line of sight, but these players are kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place at the moment. They're going to look to pivot towards A, I believe. Yeah, they absolutely are. That smoke coming out over there. You're going to have to rotate fairly quickly. Nightfall at the ready for Jello, and they're going to pretty much wait to use that for this retake. Spike getting planted now. And we are in a post-plant situation. Mosey finding that kill early. Drop player spotted out. The second player over towards site. Paint shells coming out. They 100% are aware. And actually, 1 found, 2 found, but it does not matter. Tiffin University are able to trade well enough to get themselves this other round, and they find themselves at match point here. 12-8. And now do or die for Ohio Northern here in this first map. Of course, Tiffin University picking Lotus. This is their map pick, but obviously the decision to go on defense first didn't seem to work out too well for ONU. I mean, they had that 9-3 half, and they really just haven't been able to bounce back from it thus far. So, I mean, you know, they've got to kind of consider that as well. Of course, we do have the other 2 maps we have going forward are 2-site maps, so there's going to be a little bit of a different dynamic, but of course, each one has their own advantages and disadvantages. I'm coming out with that Odin. That is dangerous. That's real dangerous here. You better be careful what you wish for, Sing. And apparently, it's going to be death. So 1 player falls to the headhunter. That's huge for Mint to get. That's -1 player right off the bat. Ohio Northern here kind of having to halt their take here over onto C and having to explore other sides right now. Of course, you can see some of these other players on Tiffin in other sides of the map. We see Mosey here on B. We see Jello on A.
Oh no, it looks like Tiffin's rotating towards C, but ONU's attacking A right now.
30 seconds left.
Very, very true. And Bronton finds 1 onto Mosey, so kind of what they needed to equalize, but Jello gets spotted out with the haunt. Showstopper coming out as well. Flames has 12 HP, but could still potentially get a kill here and does not get it. Jello gets away with his life.
10
A spike is
seconds
going
left.
to come down with around 9 seconds left to spare, and now here comes the retake attempt from Tiffin.
Here.
I'm back.
Oh no.
One enemy remaining.
These players landing the kills all over the place, and it is all over. Tiffin University claim the first map of Lotus in dominating fashion.
Defenders
13-8 is the score. ONU with honestly a solid attempt there at coming back, but just too little too late there, and they find themselves up map 1 there. An excellent showing from them so far, and we honestly look forward to Corrode with just anticipation, because these players played so well.
Yeah, the gunplay was excellent. Although we've seen both teams have minor mistakes that costed multiple rounds, to be honest. So hopefully with this little break and new map, they're able to fix those small mistakes, and we have I don't know, this both teams play better.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I absolutely can't wait. I hope to see some more like I guess just gusto from Ohio Northern, just just having more drive, determination, and 100% keeping their head in the game, and hopefully they can continue to make it competitive here, because that's what we want to see ultimately. I absolutely can't wait. Ohio Northern's map of Corrode is coming up next. We are just gonna take a small little break. Stay tuned. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are just about ready to get back into the action. Corrode on the cards here, and we're just about ready to get into our agent select as well. Ohio Northern once again on the defense here, locking in that fade, locking in that omen, and the Yoru once again. This comp is actually interesting. What do you think about this one here?
Gecko? Honestly,
Hey.
Gecko fade? I don't know. I haven't
Yeah, I don't
seen
know how I feel
Gecko
about that one.
played
That's
in a
interesting.
while.
I know. Yeah,
And
Gecko's just
look at
not one of
KO.
those characters. That's and
KO and
too.
Corrode?
Interesting. I mean, this could potentially be a little bit more because of the patch recently, the initiator changes that we saw. Of course, obviously, a big piece of that was the refreshable utility, the cooldowns on those. Flash timings was another big part. So maybe that's part of the reason why we're seeing Gecko here. You never know. Gecko like still got nerfed too. So it's interesting.
I think it's just for the smokes, because mid control on this map is going to be huge. With the Viper wall and even the Omen, the Gecko should be able to clear out a lot of that with the Wingman. Fade Prowler as well, and Dizzy with the Flash. So I think that's kind of the thought process they have. But Tiffin has more of a, almost a standard approach, but not really. I mean, they got Waylay,
Right.
Sova, KO.
Yeah.
I hope if the KO can do good flashes and his knife is good, because I think the patch affected him as well. So if he throws his knife too early, it's like the entire round he doesn't have it.
Yeah, very true. I'm a big fan of the Waylay pick, to be honest. I really do think it's a big reason why we've been seeing it so much in pro play. She is just very, very good at getting in and getting out, even like without even getting a kill. Like you can Waylay dash somewhere onto the site, get info, and just dip out because of the refract, and that's a huge part of just the game in general. So yeah, I'm definitely I'm a fan of seeing that. I'm interested in the Gecko pick because you mentioned mid control on the smokes, but I think in that sort of situation, you'd probably want like some sort of like more hard info, right? Like a Skydog or a Taiho drone or something like that. But I'm like I said, I'm curious to see how this one goes. About to get right into the action, just about ready to get into it here. Absolutely can't wait. Let's go ahead and get into it, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about mid control. That seems like that's exactly what's going on right now. EMP finding an early kill onto Jello.
Spike down.
Look at that,
Oh
they're
my
just
goodness.
pinched.
Last
They can't do
player
anything.
standing.
Tiffin just
100%.
falling. And
Absolutely.
Mint, the last one
Yeah,
standing.
these players.
Flawless.
Oh my, and a flawless round for Ohio Northern. They knew exactly what the way they wanted to approach that pistol round. They executed upon it almost perfectly.
That Viper wall mid is very hard to counter because almost instantly it covers it up and allows for the walk up. So Tiffin's going to have to use util or use bodies to clear that out. But, ONU also has like the Gecko flash, the Yoru flash. They have so much util to kind of counteract that. So I think they have a very good, this is a very good matchup.
Oh yeah.
Doing a thing.
100%. And I feel like these players are gonna be really, really good at like their method of entry. Yeah, look at that Waylay dash right there. Huge stuff that we're seeing, and a lot of aggression coming out here. These players, I mean, there's literally 4 people on ONU that are here, and Tiffin University, of course, just might actually stop. Oh no! Wait, what?
Wait, what?
What in the world was that from Jello through the wall with a sheriff? Diabolical shots there.
And Tiffin finding, oh, Broden able to get 2.
Foot 4! Almost acing in flames! Grabbing that kill. That is huge right there.
I didn't even see the shot through the wall. That was, did he get pinged or anything, or was that just shooting through the wall?
I think he just shot through the wall.
With that, they almost won.
goodness.
But look at the damage that Tiffin did. 2 ghosts, 1 sheriff, and an outlaw with a specter. Not looking too good for ONU, but at the same time, that outlaw is an operator for 3 of Tiffin's players.
Absolutely, and these players are just looking to take some mid control here.
Shutting them down.
Kale
One
Knight at the
suppressed.
ready set is going to suppress some of these players, but it's really just kind of stop people in their place here. You can see everyone is just kind of like chilling, holding their spot in mid. Nothing really happening. It's just kind of there.
And 3 of ONU players are holding mid. Just looks like it's going to be a retake A as Tiffin walks up and kills EMP. And Tiffin has all of A site while ONU is scrambling to get together and, you know, get ready for the rehit.
Absolutely, and these players get taken out there, and now all of a sudden they've got to go ahead and attempt this retake. There's so much util being spammed here, though. It's going to be real difficult for them to do much of anything. Kerosene and Sing
One enemy
in a
remaining.
world of pain right now. Mosey finds that kill. And look, Tiffin have done excellent here in this bonus round.
Kerosene's all by himself with the Phantom.
Nice peek here. Oh yeah,
Where's
that's
that
one
Spectre?
found. That's actually a Spectre. Yeah, it's a Spectre.
Yeah.
It's gonna go ahead and pick up a weapon and trying to look for another, but will actually fall to False Sun.
Keeping the Guardian, not able to find a Vandal that round. But ONU now on
Absolutely, and-
the full buy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is sort of like this is a really important round of the game, of course, because it is the first gun round of the game. These sort of the first round where these players are sort of on equal footing in a way, and I feel like that's a really important point, right? Of course, they're gonna 100% look to get themselves in a situation where
Toxins going up.
they can kind of gain momentum in this half, get a good start here.
Toxin screen down.
Look at that. I think, yeah, Zeptic's already up mid. Looking for a pick on Broden. But, oh, no. 2 of Tiffin's players falling. Down to a 3v3. Jello. Oh,
Percent.
Spike down B.
Uh-oh. Yeah, and that's
What's
one
going
found.
on?
So Flames finds that one kill, and now all of a sudden tap at the spike as well. There's only 2 left here. These players have got to be careful. It's a
Spike
2v3
planted.
situation. The spike is planted, and just looking for anyone who's trying to get any cheeky kills here. Paranoia is good, but not really able to play off of it too much. Wingman coming out as well, because he does find 1 player. Yeah, this ends up working out. 2 players in the smoke right now. 1 coming out. Knight finds 1. Trade is there. And another one is there. And they both converge onto all these players on Ohio Northern, and it works out in their favor.
honestly, just well played from Tiffin there. 3v2. Dodging all of Gecko's util with the smoke on site from Mosey. And with that smoke, he was able to get 2 and clutch up the round.
100%. Yeah, very, very well played on their part. And again, you got to give him credit for where credit is due.
And ONU on a kind of half buy. All of them have sheriffs.
Ores and ore.
Well, Tiffin has a full buy, so, you know, on paper, Tiffin should win this round.
Yeah, definitely on paper. Of course, like, you never know what can happen. Valorant is a crazy
Just
game.
like
We see
that.
even Kerosene finding a kill, but the Sheriff too. The Snakebite comes out. It's actually gonna hit Knight with the vulnerable, and now things are sort of gonna get stopped here. The momentum is halted for Tiffin's side, and of course they're down a player. They're just gonna look to explore different sides of the map here.
Toxin Toxin
And
screen
Tiffin
down.
with that wall is able to get mid control pretty easily. But ONU is on a pretty bad buy, so, you know, it's kind of a risky fighting mid here.
100%. But they are going to go ahead and aggress towards A right now. See, there's 2
30
players
seconds left.
already here, ready and waiting. Let's see how this one ends up going. Recon dart is ready. It's going to spot out these players. Jello lands a kill onto Sing. The clone is there too. An EMP falls. That spike is coming down. There's absolutely nothing anyone can do about it. There it goes. And there's only 2 players left to stand here for ONU. Kerosene does have a Vandal to work with. That's not much.
Jello
It comes out.
Oh no.
Nothing left to be done.
They were boxed in there. Odin and a Vandal. What can they do? Stuck in a corner.
Absolutely. And look, of course, I think this has been kind of the story of the series thus far, right? Like you'll see ONU claim the pistol, and then all of a sudden, like Tiffin University finds themselves getting like 3 or 4 in a row or more in the following rounds. So I think that's literally like it's a very, very common thing that we've been seeing from them, which is quite interesting. But you know.
You know, that being said, on those 2 rounds they won, they kind of fought mid, but ever since that, they stopped fighting mid. So they might go back to fighting mid here. Wow. And look at that, Waylay is just able to recall out of there after basically getting back sight.
100%. You can see. Honestly, I think Tiffin University has done a really good job of kind of leaving mid alone kind of early and then exploring it, maybe rotating from somewhere later on, and kind of pivoting somewhere based on that control. I think they've kind of done that quite a bit thus far in the early stages of this game. Actually, I'm a pretty big fan of that, but the real dangerous part here is you can see Rondon's position here, having so much control, having so much space up here in mid, that
30
could
seconds
end up
left.
being a pretty significant detriment to them. You can actually see the spike carrier is late. It actually doesn't. Yeah, nothing happens off the back of that. Luckily for Tiffin.
And Tiffin just pushing out with the Waylay ult, getting the bomb down. This is a 4v5
10
situation.
seconds left. Spike planted.
And ONU has all their util for the rehit.
Absolutely. And these players
player standing.
converging, and ONU getting a string of kills there. So impressive, and it's only False Sun left to stand. Half of the spike, just honestly, yeah, just that's unfortunate there. And they grab that defuse, 100% ready for it. Rondon landing it as well. Actually, they're actually gonna let someone else get it.
Giving Yor the extra ult orb so he can possibly get his ult this round, or I guess next round. Which, I mean, as you were saying earlier, that mid control, ONU had that space and was able to get a kill and stall a lot of time just by, you know, holding mid. So, but Tiffin, you know, they're just not fighting mid, so I don't know.
100%. I mean, like, I think the early mid aggression, especially after seeing what they saw in the pistol round, is like they saw a whole lot of early aggression from ONU. They wanted absolutely nothing to do with it, and I think that's part of the reason why we're seeing so much of that late mid aggression rather than early, because they just don't want to risk they don't want to risk losing people kind of early on here. But you can see there's definitely aggression here. You can see the TP up, and Kerosene fighting in the corner. The player wasn't spotted out. The spike is down, but it's a little bit scary here. EMP with a
Player
kill,
standing.
and the thrash coming out, and now it is all down to Knight, who is just being 100% converged on. Absolutely nothing that he can do at all. Braun
These
didn't get
retakes that
defuse here.
they've had are huge. I mean, they just have all the util, and I mean, there's nothing Tiffin can really do because they're getting flashed, they're getting stunned. I think Tiffin needs to start playing a little slower here.
Exactly, and a timeout coming from Tiffin as well here. Gonna take a moment, just try to, organize themselves. We saw 2 in a row on their part, and that's honestly a super important thing. I definitely think that they're kind of in a situation where they want to make sure that they can kind of establish enough control without losing people. I mentioned that earlier in the previous round. That's a really important point. And I think if they can continue to do that, and get that spike down, and do their same aggression like we saw in that last round. They got that spike down. They instantly aggress over into CT. I think if they can manage to do those things, kind of have that calculated aggression that we saw in Lotus, they'll find success. But it hasn't really been working out in their favor thus far.
I think that's the thing they did very good the first map with I mean, it was a 3-site map, so it's a little easier to push up and not get punished for it. But they had those characters like Chamber able to push up and hold that space and TP away. So they're gonna need to start, getting that map control as they did on the attack and just playing off the picks and looking for an opening. Because the retake is just not working. They're just getting pummeled.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't make me too much.
We're into this round early. We're seeing a lot of aggression here. Oh my, over on A main. That Hunter's Fury is actually going to get some good value here. EMP does find that trade though.
Last player standing.
You can see there's only one player left to stand here. It's going to be Jello over in mid. You can see Dink is there, and yeah, these players know exactly where he is.
So Jello just kind of staying in spawn, maybe looking for a kill here, but looking at the eco, I don't think it really matters if he dies here. They're able to probably buy next round, full buy. Jello just looking for a pick mid. But Flames jump spots and spots Jello. And just slowly walking up. I mean, but ONU not giving him the ones that he really wants in this situation, and Flames able to kill Jello right there, closing the round out with a 3-5 score line. ONU.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, of course, now that even after that timeout, they've gotten their 3rd in a row. That's really impressive on their part. Obviously, they should have been somewhat aware that Tiffin was going to try to come up with some sort of game plan there, and they certainly did, but it just didn't work out in their favor.
So now we're seeing Tiffin fight mid, which might be the thing that Tiffin needs. But Sing is getting a kill on their smokes, which is not a thing you want to see.
Early aggression, but look at Kerosene. Look at Kerosene grabbing 2 and giving total access to the bomb. Flames finding another, and it's just an absolute. They're being dismantled right now. There's only one player left. It's Knight. Flawless. Doesn't even find one. A flawless round there to close it out.
Is Kuro typically an attacker map, or is it more of a defender map?
I would personally say it's a more defense-sided map. However, the important thing here to consider is just really the momentum I think it is very much like Ascent in the sense that map control is extremely important, and mid control is extremely important. And so if these teams can get themselves mid control effectively, I think they'll end up in a much better position than they would have initially been in, especially like coming into these next few rounds here. Can see this aggression coming out here. Look at this Viper, the placement of it.
But look at Gecko in the corner. Is Mint gonna or Zepta gonna clear him?
I'm not too sure. Doesn't look like it. And one found, but the trade is there. So Mint does find that kill, and now they are gonna have access
Welcome
to
to
the site.
my world.
And a Viper's Pit going
And
down,
yeah, Pit comes out as well.
which is huge for Tiffin because they
Spike
don't really have
planted.
the guns to fight ONU normally. And it looks like the Viper
Yeah.
Pit is a little broken in the free cam. And
Yeah,
Mosey
just a
with a
little
nice
bit, right?
one shot.
Seems like it.
Headshot.
One enemy remaining.
Definitely broken in the free cam, unfortunately. I don't know what's going on with that. That's so weird. But doesn't matter. Mosey landing that kill. And that is going to give Tiffin another round, a much needed one, to be perfectly honest with you.
And as soon as they started fighting mid, they win the round as a team. I mean, Tiffin's tried one or two up mid, but with basically all of Tiffin's players, easily able to win that round. So I wonder if they're going to keep, but it doesn't look like they're going to keep on fighting mid, so I don't know.
Yeah, looks to be the case, and we actually are going to see a timeout coming out from ONU now. Just interesting, because honestly, I would have anticipated that not being the case. They seem to have their wits about them so far in this half. They seem to have done a very good job of that. So
Yeah, I mean, both teams just need to fix small mistakes, and ONU's doing great with that, not giving up too much map control, holding the space that's needed to win the round, because Tiffin a lot of the times is pushing with 30, 20 seconds on the clock, and if they're able to hold spots that Tiffin needs to clear to stall out that time and kind of force Tiffin to go one site or the other, I mean, I think ONU has a good chance of winning this game if they continue to do that.
yeah, I definitely agree with that one right there. And of course, ONU wanting to win the game, it is do or die for them, right? They're down 0-1 in the series, so of course they want to put themselves in a situation where they can kind of get things stabilized, and it looks to be the case here over in mid. We see some of these players fighting early, and nothing too much happens, but see 3 players bunching up over here, and Flash comes out. It's actually a good use of it, to be perfectly honest.
And it looks like in that timeout, basically ONU's coach said, hey, let's fight mid here and kind of play retake on other sites. Go back to what was working. Just allowing Tiffin for getting the A space here. Fade going to play back site, probably going to fall back once he hears the footsteps. And Tiffin just has a free plant.
Absolutely.
Spike planted.
Yeah, that spike comes down there, and of course, see these players actually starting to fall off of the site. They're kind of just chilling out here. Dimensional drift coming out as well, and these players certainly in a situation where they're just starting to get spotted out. They've got to be real careful here.
And all the
Yeah,
util going
Knight
out on
grabs the
site.
kill. Absolutely.
Oh, no.
Flames 1, EMP with 2, and False Sun grabbing the kills. Time starting to tick away in terms of the defuse possibility. Doesn't seem to be going their way, but False Sun with 3. The defender of the site barely able to
Last
scrape
round
away
in
with
the
a
half.
round win there, but Tiffin University finding their stride 2 in a row.
And whatever they said in that timeout, I mean, we saw that it almost worked. It honestly was a very close round. It just came down to the fact to which who had the better ults and who had the better util. As, the Fade ult went out, KO nade, KO knife. Not a whole lot you can do there with the retake with all those ults kind of shoved in your face.
Absolutely. And yeah, early aggression over here in A. See these players just kind of trying their best to get early space, fight early, and of course there's significant risk with that. And I'm really speaking on the defense's part, but look, I mean, I'll say right now, it's certainly been working in their favor thus far. So gotta give them credit where credit is due. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? You can see convergent pass being popped there. Dash as well. False Sun actually falling as a result of it. Trade is there though. Knight finds a kill in turn. And now these players once again looking to hit the A site. The null command being popped as well. The kill come out there from Jello, and that spike is going to get planted, but you can see there's a player just chilling, ready and waiting. Spam coming out with that Odin. Jello finds it, and now the last two players over near CT. They've got to go ahead and retake. Langman coming out, and the paranoia is going to delay as well. Hunter's Fury coming out too. What more can Flames do? Absolutely nothing. And a 6-6 scoreline. Tiffin University stabilizing. Very, very well played on their part.
Honestly, yeah.
I don't know if I hear clapping because they're happy about it. Oh,
yeah, it was clapping.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. Clapping because of the excitement, I suppose. Very excellent stuff for Tiffin University there. They do very well to stabilize in that half, and it's impressive stuff.
So we're seeing that same wall that ONU used on Tiffin. Seems like it's a very overpowered wall, honestly. Wait.
Oh yeah.
No, it's not the same wall. It's a different wall.
Yeah, slightly different stuff that we're seeing here.
The same concept for both teams.
Yeah. You can see the difference between the two walls there, right? Like, one is going to try to cut off the mid space. Actually, honestly, both are really trying to cut off the mid space, but for, you know, the opposite teams. So very interesting dynamic there with the Vipers. And Sing finding one, Jello finding another. Trade is there. You can see these players.
Toxin
I'm gonna
screen
go ahead
down.
and look to potentially hit B. You can see these players are kind of bunched up over here at the moment.
And they're attacking Viper's site. Wall's going to go up, but Dizzy's going to catch Mint back site.
Oh, no.
But Mint able to get one before falling to EMP.
Yeah, so the trade is there, and that spike is going to go ahead and go down over here. Little bro planting that spike over here. And there's more fighting going on right now. Jello has got the most to do, but it does not seem to be working out at all. And what a kill there.
So it looks like that ONU just, they're very good at winning the pistol. I mean, I think that's both games they've won both pistols, or did Tiffin win last game?
Yeah. No,
They've
literally
won...
every pistol round has been won by Ohio Northern, and so it speaks to, I mean, how good they are on that, right? It's very, very, very impressive.
Now, I wonder if we're going to see the same thing where they win the anti-eco and then lose the bonus and Tiffin just maintains that lead. But, you know, this game's been back and forth, so kind of hard to tell.
Absolutely. It definitely has been back and forth. And honestly, strangely enough, not a whole lot of mid presence in this round here. At least a lot less so than we've seen in the past.
Yeah,
so,
not even a wall down.
Honestly, those Viper walls... Yeah, those Viper walls getting put to work, I suppose, right? They're doing their job. It's kind of preventing some of these players, especially the ones who don't have, the team that doesn't have good eco, to kind of just a little bit more afraid to push past this wall right now. They are going to do
hold
so.
on to her wall. She
Yeah.
might not even use it because of the
Interesting,
fact
actually.
that they're on an eco, trying to just maintain that long range visual on the other team.
100%. You see these players. Oh no! Whoa! 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 Disrespect coming out here, and we
Spike
see these
planted.
players. That spike goes down,
Last player standing.
and yes, absolutely, ONU have access to the B site, but I mean, that's unfortunate. It didn't even matter. They probably didn't even have to really do that if they didn't want to. Jello finds a kill with a stinger there. That's good on his part. And now really the entirety of ONU is going to go ahead and converge on his position.
Cutting through.
and none of these players the care in the world.
Very unfortunate whiff on Tiffin's end. Catching the Viper with his back turned, not able to kill him because he's jumping around. 361 taps. I think it was Zeptic. Yeah, Zeptic with only a classic, not able to kill the Viper, which honestly could have changed the outcome of that match.
Absolutely.
Up and away.
Yeah, and you've got to consider here I guess, sort of the repercussions of a lack of mid control here, right? And yes, absolutely. Like a lot of these rounds we've been seeing are rounds where the economy is skewed like very, very like heavily in one way, and so kind of coming into these next few rounds, I'm interested to see how. Obviously, this one is honest, but I'm interested to see how kind of things go when we get to those first gun rounds. Those are going to be the really, really important ones for Tiffin University to kind of stop things here. And of course, this one is important too. This round we expect them to win, just given the fact that it is the bonus. So really, the next rounds for Tiffin's side are going to be probably what dictates kind of the way the momentum goes in this half. Spend out there, and of course Spike will get planted.
Looking very close.
One enemy
Oh
remaining.
yeah, there's only one left. 2v1 situation. Absolutely nothing left for them to do. So we're gonna go ahead and get that defused there.
Very good damage on ONU's end. As you know, you said even though that was a bonus, they had basically 3 rifles, 4 if you count the outlaw. So the fact that it was that close doesn't really surprise me, but the damage done to Tiffin, you know, as we can see with their econ, you know, 2 guardians, you know, forced because of them dying, and they can't even buy full armor.
Yeah, absolutely. And that honestly, I really do think that Ohio Northern did a great job of kind of doing good damage, right? Obviously, they were able to get that spike down. And that's a really important part of this whole thing here, you know?
And look at that. ONU's is 4-maining up A main. The Mosey able to kill EMP right off the bat. ONU is still flooding
Look at
out,
this
going towards
aggression right
elbow.
now.
Oh yeah! Monster on
And here
Very
comes the
out as
thrash.
well.
Oh, the good Silva ult
Oh,
counters
what
the Gecko.
in the world? The Hunter's
One
Fury
enemy
finding
remaining.
the player, and now everyone on the side of ONU getting absolutely melted down. Sing with 1 and the knife to boot.
Oh no.
Disrespect in the house here. Someone had shot a body on the side of Ohio Northern, and they did not take to that kindly.
Yeah. But with that round, ONU now honestly kind of on a half buy, 2 rifles and 3 sheriffs. But you know, we've seen oh, now a ghost and honestly they're just kind of seeing what works, but we've seen ONU win these rounds before.
Shadows traveling.
And it looks like they're just kind of look for Tiffin's aggression with these weaker guns.
Spike down B.
Absolutely. And look at this mid control right now that Tiffin is really trying to establish with just 1 player. It's just Nightmare. And there's only an EMP takes them out. That is unfortunate there.
That's not something you
Another
want to
player
see.
kind of showing here. Yeah.
It's down
But
to a
it's really this situation
3v3.
here. So still salvageable for either team, really. And the big thing here, of course, that you want to see from Tiffin is these players playing together. You can see the spread here. There's 1 towards mid. There's 1 kind of hanging over towards Link. And there's another 1 towards CT on B. And that's a really important point that I think you kind of don't want in this sort of situation. You want to be able to take fights together and be able to trade when necessary. You can see Kerosene and Mosey potentially looking to fight here. Mosey does find the kill and TP's right out, but I mean, I mentioned playing together. It's the same sort of situation
30
for
seconds
ONU.
left.
None of these players are together right now.
And it looks like ONU is going to try to regroup towards B main. But, with
Yeah.
Viper being mid, that's basically 2 on B right away.
Yeah, absolutely. Time ticking away here. Man advantage.
10 seconds
And
left.
he has the Odin!
See Spike.
One enemy
Oh
remaining.
no. Jello spamming it out, and there's no time left whatsoever. And my goodness, Tiffin University take the lead in this round. Insane stuff.
Well played on Tiffin's end, knowing that he has the Odin and can deny that plant with the Sova dart. That's all you really need. They didn't even really need the fight. They just needed to stall that plant out, and they did exactly that and won.
Yeah. Yeah, install they did. I mean, that Odin, that's kind of the big detriment, the big danger rather, of the Odin is you can see some of these players will just know exactly where to spam to get their kills, and certainly worked out in their favor.
ONU going fast out A. All
Oh, yeah,
going
once
towards
again,
elbow.
We've seen that look from a lot of them.
And the Odin spam just going
Look
out.
at that spam. Now, a lot of these players trying to do their best energy Brock impression, but not quite going their way.
Spike
You see Convergent
planted.
Pass getting popped as well. Here comes the retake attempt. Miz finding one, Mosey with another. Flames and Singville going absolutely insane. And now a 2v1, but it will not happen. The Odin being spammed there, and Tiffin University find themselves at double digits. My
The
goodness.
2 Odins on defense just able to shred through the entirety of ONU's attack. Not able to really... everything's wall bangable on that site, so it's really hard for ONU to really do anything when they're getting shot from every angle.
Absolutely. And I mean, like, of course, it becomes a situation where you have to consider, like, is it a smarter idea to just kind of play off site in these post plants and play for like the utility? You do have you have fade utility, you have 2 initiators, right? Use that to your advantage, try to get that information wherever possible, and if you can manage to do that, I think they might have a little bit more success in the post plant here.
And Broaden able to kill Mint right off the bat, down to a 4v5 now. And it looks like ONU's going back towards mid. Kind of pinched in.
Essentially. But I mean, here's the thing, Tiffin find themselves kind of at a man deficit right now, so they've got to once again be careful of where things are. You can see really the entirety of these players on Ohio Northern are pivoting towards the A side at the moment.
All Mosey has to do is either stay alive or get 1 or 2. The falls to
Yeah, not
kerosene.
gonna happen.
Down to a 2v4.
Welcome
Bomb
to
going down
my
with
Kick
the
coming out
wingman.
too. Look at that. Peek through, and actually one player taken out towards CT. The recon dart getting popped. It's actually gonna spot out 2 of the players, so they're gonna try their best to clear everything that they can, and we could see more spam here as well. Flash coming out, and that's a great one. Very, very well used. But I don't think they're aware of these players' position.
standing.
And it's not going to happen. Flames actually gets taken out because of the mosh pit. Another player, EMP, wrapping around, grabbing that kill.
I almost wanted to say if that Viper's ult was, kind of not needed, but honestly, without that, they might have lost.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and it was a valiant effort too. We saw a lot of that great utility. We saw the Sova Dart. We saw those KO flashes. They got value. It's just that they weren't able to necessarily capitalize off of them in time to really have time to kill everyone and defuse the spike. So it's a really important point. And of course, Ohio Northern keeping it close here on this attack side. They look to take mid control once again, and look at this controller utility over towards mid. This is overarching utility is crazy. Kerosene finds one. Mosey over there as well, actually able to get the trade and actually almost failing that TP. Spots another player out. Flash comes out, and is this really the defender of this area of the map, but finally falls in 3v3 situation here. We see that Valor over towards B as well. Might see a B hit.
Oh, Jello able to spray him down with the
down, B.
Odin. Knows where the last two players are.
Last player
Oh
standing.
no! Yeah, that is absolutely devastating right there for Ohio Northern. You can see the last player here is just trying to do something, but is pretty much being pinched at the moment.
30 seconds left.
And, oh, 1 kill found. Mint, though, with the trade.
The double Odin is all it
Show up
takes to
now.
win. Mitt and Jello just
Exactly.
spraying the entire team down. You know, notably, they're both the, top and second frag. So if that says anything, maybe just use the Odin if you want to win.
Absolutely. Right? Yeah, like we said, unleashing their NRG, their inner NRG Brock here. And actually, surprisingly, they're going to go ahead and take a timeout here. Tiffin
Is this
University
Tiffin's?
is that's an interesting time. Yeah, it's Tiffin's timeout.
Huh.
Interesting.
You know, I think they're going to take a look at this and basically say, hey, don't push up. They're on an eco. But also kind of point out the ults that the other team has.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even just taking a look here, yeah, like you pointing out those ults, Tiffin are in a situation where they've got 4 on the board right now. They've got Hunter's Fury, they've got a Pit available, they've got From the Shadows, and they've got a Null Command. Those are a lot of those ults are very high value ults. Meanwhile, on the side of ONU, we're looking at pretty much just the Nightfall and From the Shadows. And of course, Nightfall, not to say it's a bad ult, but you know, it's a lot of these ults are inherently just going to have a lot more value from the side of Tiffin. So yeah, very, very interesting to see how that's going to end up playing out.
So we might see these ults used on their eco as, you know, kind of equalize, the odds. But it looks like ONU's just running it down A. An A split.
Oh yeah, 100% False Sun looking to get the heck out of there. Actually, I say that, but they repeat. What a heads up play from both Sun. Once again, the prodigal Sun, and is going to use the refract there. Finally gets taken out by
One enemy
Sing,
remaining.
but watch your back. Mosey on up to your death. And Tiffin University
Match
find
point.
themselves at a match point. Series point. And so impressive to be able to do that. They came up with a game plan, probably just a set play within that timeout. And you know what? I'm a fan of it.
And look, ONU can't even full buy for this, possibly last round. So we're probably going to see these ults kind of be used here to try to, gain momentum.
100%. And we're starting to see a lot of mid aggression. You can even see the KO Molly actually disrupts them. It prevents them from pushing up too far. So now they're in a situation, if you look over top here, they kind of just are stuck at the moment.
And this is kind of a scary spot for Tiffin because, sure, they have that space, but the other team doesn't have great guns. So if they're able to get these 2 guns, 2 rifles mid, it could possibly change the, outcome of this round.
Absolutely.
The Knight able to catch Kerosene with his pants down.
Oh yeah.
And ONU
That
just
is huge.
stuck main.
Yeah, and again, they're pretty much stopped on B as well. These players, they can't get an inch at all. And now time's starting to tick away. They're going to just back off of the site and decide to head elsewhere. Look for greener pastures. But Tiffin University well ahead of it here. They
30
cross,
seconds
looks
left.
like ONU cross into mid, and Knight even finds one. Mint finds another. And these players looking to head over onto A.
One enemy remaining.
but one more. The trade is
Spike
there from
down
Sing,
A.
but as the last player standing and will not get it
Defenders
done,
win.
ladies and gentlemen. Tiffin University find their stride on the map of Corrode and claim the series 2-0 over Ohio Northern. An excellent play that we just saw, excellent set of plays that we just saw. So impressive. And even just looking at that scoreboard, Jello 20 and 15, EMP went amazing there too. I mean, you gotta give him credit, was 20 and 13. So definitely very impressive. But ultimately it didn't matter. Of course, Tiffin University, like I said, found their stride, did an amazing job, kept themselves composed even when they were behind, and they got it done.
Honestly, I don't know if you guys caught that, but a little comment in the chat, which honestly, after that, it did, Tiffin did start winning. So I don't know, that maybe shooting the body is all Tiffin needed to kind of fire up their gameplay.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, Jello said, "Yo, Faye, thank you for shooting my body. It activated me." And Jello was certainly activated the rest of that entire game. I mean, we saw that like later on, literally the round after the body shooting happened. I think we saw a knife kill. So
Yeah, we did.
I think we
did.
saw a nice knife kill. So insane stuff. Very, very impressive. And once again, like I said, you got to give credit where credit is due. These players did a great job. You saw how fired up they were. They were so motivated to win, and it showed that entire time.
Yeah, both teams played well, but Tiffin came out on top. With that being said, I think that's actually, I can't say that because I don't know how many games Tiffin's played, but Tiffin has not lost a single game yet. I think that's ONU's second loss for GLEC.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, pretty good
Yeah.
game. That was pretty fun to watch. And we
Yeah,
have
absolutely
Overwatch
excellent.
in an hour, so make
Oh.
sure to stay for that.
Well,
I
there you
won't be
go.
casting for
Overwatch
that.
is that's right. That's outside of my realm of expertise. I'm the Valorant guy. Overwatch is certainly I look. Oh my goodness, it's so hectic. I don't know how you cast Overwatch. So props to you for even being able to do that. But thank you so much for just joining me in this cast. It was a treat to watch. Tiffin University did an excellent job, and of course commiserations to Ohio Northern as well. They did good as well, and just excellently played from both sides there. But Tiffin University does come out on top, remain undefeated in the season. That's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Anything else you've got to say for me, Ben?
Honestly, no, not really. You perfectly said it. Very well played for both teams. I mean, go Gions. That's about it. See you guys later.
Yeah. Absolutely. We'll see you guys soon.